Hey, coaches. If you coach rec, you've probably run into those teams that have, that one player that's just the star on the team and makes it very difficult to, successfully stop them. No matter what defense you use, obviously a man-to-man isn't going to work because that person's so athletic they can get in there and score. Zones can stop them, but you want something a little more effective when you're doing that. And that's what I'm going to talk about in today's video. It's the box and one defense. It's essentially, a hybrid between a zone defense and a man-to-man. You'll hear it referred to as a junk defense, or it's in that category. And really what you do is you basically just set up a zone defense with 4 players, and then you have one player that is covering the other player man-to-man. And I usually don't make my best player the defensive player on this. I pick out my best defensive player, right? And some kids will love that role. But really what I want to do today is I just want to show you this. And, I hope you try it out if you have, a team that's just dominating with one player. This is certainly one that you can use to stop that one kid that's just overshadowing everybody. But the advantages of this obviously is you'll be able to take that one player out of the game, and when you're doing that, you're also potentially taking out other players as well, especially when they rely on that one good player. So I am just going to essentially just kind of go over what it looks like. Probably shouldn't have thrown my defense out there yet, but that's okay. So really on a zone or a box in one is just like, it sounds. You have a box zone defense, and then you have one player that goes wherever the star player goes. And they're just trapped, just going wherever they go. And what you'll see when you run this the first time, if the other team's not used to it, is, they're so used to getting the ball to that one player that now they can't because he's constantly being guarded. But they still will try, and you'll tire this one out. And, and then whenever he does get the ball, or she, you can use your box to stop them. And essentially, you can almost have, a 3-on-1 situation at times. So let's go over kind of how it looks depending on where the ball is. So let's just say the ball is in the corner. The ball gets passed into the corner. It's going to work just like almost like a 2-3 zone, right? Where, you've got this player on the ball in the corner, and you have this player here ready to, get the steal or, any passes in here, looking for deflections. And then you have the other one shifting it over. And what I like about this, just like any other zone defense, is, you always break the court in half whenever you're running a zone like this or any zone. And so that's why the players rush over to the other side. So you essentially have everything over on one side. And what can happen is, there could be a pass over the top. And then obviously that would be a problem. But it's just like in a zone, right? You're just shifting everybody back over to the side. So if that skip pass does happen, and it's possible, although from corner to corner is a little tough because they'll probably end up hitting the backboard. But what's probably more realistic is is a skip pass from here to here, and then you're just you're shoving everybody over. So if that happens, we just get everybody over to that line, and now we're covering down on that. So the teams really have to adapt to this, and if it's a rec team and they're not practicing this, it can make it a little bit more difficult. I will tell you that when a team starts running this defense, I'll take out my star player and just see if they continue to do that. But you could, get them out of this defense by taking your player out if you're on the other side of this, and then put them right back in after they adjust, and it kind of just makes, just disrupts them a little bit. So and I'll move my 2 out. Or what I'll do is if I'm on the other end of this, is I will just put my star player over here and just see what they do, just to just kind of mess it up. And you can beat this. So, but in order to be effective, if the other team does work this out right, they're going to start moving that basketball around just like they would in a zone defense. And you just have to, everybody just has to rotate properly. So that's really what it looks like. I'm just trying to shoot the ball or move the ball around just so you can kind of see where everybody would be at if, if this did happen. And, one other thing too is you can still use this other defensive player to, in the game, right? Like, I mean, if this player's out up top here, that person can still, assist. The goal with the box and one, though, is to keep that star player from getting the ball. And, that can certainly interrupt another team's playing ability. So I think I've hit most of the spots here just to kind of show you where everybody goes. I think I've hit the corner, I've hit the wings, I've hit the point area, the high post. Obviously, if the ball gets into the zone, it would just be everybody collapsing, where they're supposed to be. So that's what it looks like. I'd love to hear your version of this. I know there's different ways to run this. Another one that you can run is the triangle and 2. I won't show that one in here, but if you're interested in seeing that, please leave a comment in the comment section.